You know when there's a plane crash, they always say, put on your own oxygen mask before you attempt to help the person next to you. Yeah, I kind of do that too. Unless you are David Goggins watching this. If you watch a video on how to drive a car, but you never drive a car, what's gonna happen? If you hear the conversation that most people have with themselves, probably you included, when nobody's around, you'd be extremely worried, to say the least. Like, the language you use is diabolical. You see such good people who are genuinely so nice, so respectful, so loving, but then you see the way they talk about themselves. Yeah, we need to talk about the secret to actual real self-love. I was listening to a podcast once, and they were talking about David Goggins. Everyone knows David Goggins. And they're saying how he looks in the mirror and he goes, I am David Goggins, or, you know, in his accent. And they were amazed at how he can say that with so much conviction. And I'm just there like, yeah, I kind of do that too. But it's not arrogance or pride or ego. I have said, and I always will say, I'm just a slave, a servant of God. I'm a human being, and I'm nothing. But I do have that love and trust for myself, which every single person needs to have. You've probably heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't love people if you don't love yourself. That doesn't make sense. You're submitting to people because you want to fit in. Or maybe you're overcompensating. You know what it feels like to not feel loved. So you're trying to throw that and drown other people in it because you never want them to feel like you. And I get that. And I understand how much it hurts. But it has to start from within. You know when there's a plane crash, they always say, put on your own oxygen mask before you attempt to help the person next to you. Because if you don't have oxygen, you're not going to be much help to anyone else. And you just risk your own life in the process. So how can you look in the mirror and say, I am probably not David Goggins, unless you are David Goggins watching this. That's a funny joke. See, I love myself so much I laugh at my own jokes. No, but seriously, how can we get you to look in the mirror and wholeheartedly say, I am, insert your name, and just say it with so much passion? Like, you're so happy to be yourself. You have so much trust and love for yourself. Well, I'm going to be honest, first things first. As much as I love the fact you're watching this video, and obviously like and subscribe and follow me on Insta at RayTommy. And if you actually have any questions or you want to reach out or anything, you can hit me up on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. But first thing is first, you can watch a million YouTube videos. It's not going to make a difference. Once you've got the gist of it, you have everything you need. If you watch a video on how to drive a car, but you never drive a car, what's gonna happen? So you need to figure out what you really want. There are so many different ways to do this. Like, you can close your eyes and think about the perfect day, but what does that day consist of? It's probably not going to be you getting stuck in traffic and getting moaned at by your boss. It's probably not. You're probably going to think about stuff that you actually want to do, stuff that makes you happy, stuff that puts such a smile on your face and makes you feel so fulfilled. That's one way of doing it. Most people innately know what they want. To be honest, if I had a choice, I'd do this, this, and this. I wouldn't be doing this, this, and this. Most people know that. So you have this end goal of this perfect life. That if I did this, I would be so fulfilled, right? Everything would be amazing. I'd be so happy, yada, yada. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't matter right now, because the fact is you're starting at square one. That's square 1,000. Don't worry about that for now. Just have this vision in your head. Now you need to break it down. Now you got that vision, great, whatever it is. For example, when I used to be very depressed, my mindset was horrible. My psychology was awful. I was very suicidal all the time. But I had this vision of one day being fit and healthy and a good person and happy and being an influencer and coaching people and all of these different things. I had that vision, but it didn't take 1 second to get there. No, it took a few years, but those years were phenomenal. Like, you build and you learn so much along the way. You meet such amazing people. I mean, you guys might have heard of Law of Attraction. I'll talk about that in another video. The point is, you have an end goal, and the progress you make is extremely rewarding. Okay, I have the goal. Now what do? Easy. 2 things. Start cutting out your bad habits and start implementing your good habits. Look, some people can do it cold turkey. I am a cold turkey type of person. For example, I used to vape. I used to vape all the bloody time. Then one day when I got back into martial arts, I realized how hard I was training and then how much I was damaging my lungs on the other side. And I felt like I'm putting all this energy, all this blood, sweat and tears into my martial arts. And then I'm just puffing it away. So I stopped and I never went back again. But I'll give you another example of something I had to cut down slowly. So I had really bad sleeping pattern. I'd be asleep till like 1 or 2 p.m. It was awful. It was really bad. I know it was awful. So what I did is I slowly cut it down. I went from 1 p.m. to like 12 to like 11:30 to waking up at 6 a.m. So some things you can do straight away, some things you can do bit by bit. It's entirely up to you. During this period though, there's a very big asterisk here I have to put in. You got to look at your environment, because you will always default to your environment. Whatever happens. During these self-development years of mine, I didn't stay with the same crowd. No, I switched massively. The type of people I would see every single day became people I would never see again. It wasn't an arrogance thing or I'm too good for you thing. It was like a, hey, join me on this journey thing. And I'm walking in that direction. Do you want to walk with me? No, I don't want to walk. I want to walk in that direction. Okay, cool. Then A lot of people get stuck because they think they've got such good mates, or they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to do this, or they don't want to do that. And that is probably the toughest thing. The toughest thing during the whole healing journey is the environment. Because when you start, you have these bunch of people around you who do all the same things you do. The chances aren't looking for growth. It's very easy to find people who aren't looking for growth, people who are just settling. It's very easy. Then when you divert from those people, you start going in a different direction. You're all alone because you're not there yet where you can be with all the people who are where you want to be. You know, whether it's the fitness freaks or the entrepreneurs or the influencers or whatever. You're not there yet. So you're in this little grey area in the middle where you're just kind of existing, where you're working on yourself. All these extra hours you're putting in 10 and you're getting 1 back. But there will be a time where you put in 1 and you get 10 back. But right now you have to endure that. This is the part where the self-love goes. Why? Because your future self is going to look back and say, wow, I did that for me. That is just pure love. I did that for me. I could have been going out and enjoying myself and drinking and partying and sleeping in and eating whatever I wanted, but no, I had discipline. And the thing is, discipline is always frowned upon, but discipline is the best thing you can ever do. And most people haven't stuck to anything, which is why they look down on the word discipline, because they go through all the hard parts, the grafts, but just before or about halfway in, they give up. So it's like you started, you struggled, and you gave up before seeing the rewards. It's like planting a tree and having it grow, and just before it's about to bear fruit, you chop it down and you say, you know what, this tree is useless. No, it's not. It just needed a bit more time. And you had all of these fruits, all these apples and mangoes, obviously not from the same tree, I get it. But you cut the tree down before you had a chance to eat of its fruits. Look, God shows us analogies everywhere in life. We are natural beings, just like a plant, just like a tree. In order for us to bear fruits, we gotta wait till the end of the journey. The fruits aren't the first thing that happens. Literally every single thing in life, if you're looking to grow, you're gonna have to break beforehand. Anything that's worth living for. Even your muscles, when you go to the gym, before they grow, what happens? They tear. You don't just think about getting fit and all of a sudden you're fit. Psychology is a very, very big part of it. Again, I'll talk about that in another video. But you have to put the effort in, you have to put the grind in. I'm telling you from experience, it's not a bad thing. It's looked down upon, but it's not a bad thing, because most people give up before they can enjoy the fruits of their works. Because I promise you, if those same people with that bad attitude, if they continue to put the work in and they got the recompense, they would be the first ones to tell you, you know what, it was worth it. Discipline is amazing. Discipline is important. And the way our bodies work is it rewards us anyway. It's not even like, oh, I have to take this away. I have to start sleeping a bit earlier and that's going to be so hard on me. No, your body's going to feel better for it. You'll feel less lethargic. You'll feel like you have more energy. Your moods will be better. Your whole nervous system, the system in the body that controls how you feel, will feel amazing. So you start feeling the effects very quickly. So once you found your vision and you start making the changes, both good and bad, as in good habits and cutting out bad habits, not making bad changes. And obviously, very important, which is kind of tied into number 2, is the environment. That needs to change 1000%. You put a Ferrari on a racetrack, it's doing 200 miles per hour. You put it on a random public road in London, it's going to get penalized for going 20 miles per hour. If it can even reach 20 miles per hour because the traffic is so bad. My point is, it doesn't matter how well you can perform. Your environment shapes you. And the last part is consistency. Well, how do I have consistency? First of all, that's something you've got to build. 100% you've got to build it. But there's push motivation and pull motivation. What pushes you is your vision. I want to have this. This is what I want. But the pull motivation got to be stronger than that. And for me, my pull motivation has always involved somebody or something else. For example, my family. I have to work hard so I can give them anything they want. And that is ingrained in me, and it always will be, inshallah. Or doing it for God, because I feel like it's my duty. I feel like God's given me a platform. I have to do good with it. Again, I take no credit myself. Yes, I've put the work in, but God has blessed me. And I'll say that till I die. So you have to look for the pull motivation. What pulls you? Forget about yourself. You're going to have up and down days. Sometimes you're going to be really motivated. You'll get out of bed. Some days you just can't be bothered. But what else is going to make you do that? What else is going to make you get up and do what you need to? Whether that's friends, family, wife, kids, God, whatever. You need to have a pull and you need to stick by it. Once you make that decision, you don't go back, because it's very easy to change. Before I started content creation, I couldn't decide what videos I wanted to make. I've always loved making lyrics and poetry. I've always loved making people laugh. I thought of the idea of a podcast, and then I thought of self-development. And this is what I got into, and this is what I stuck by. And when I was getting like no views, my own people sniggering because it just looks stupid, it didn't matter. But that's the mentality you got to have, because you will win in the end. As Alex Hormozy said, let them be right for now and you be right for good. Once you hold on to that formula, those 4 steps, and you start to see the growth, big or small, it doesn't matter. That's where self-love begins. And you'll be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I know you. I know exactly who you are. You're the person who gave up this. You're the person who woke up at this time. You're the person who's doing what we're passionate about, because you want us to feel good. I know exactly who you are, and I love you and I appreciate you. That's exactly what's going to go through your head. Again, guys, if you need any help or you want to reach out to me, message me on Instagram at RayToldMe, and I hope that helped you so we can all start building some of that self-love. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Peace.